What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. I want to break something down to y'all real quick. And I want y'all to, you can go watch whatever video you want of Deontay Wilder's training videos. And how you feel is how you feel, right? That's your opinion. I'm going to tell you something that I see, and I'm going to get into it. But let me say this. Fighters, through time, right, start to lose certain skills. They just get to the point when you hear them say it, his skills are starting to diminish. It might not be everything all at once, but you start to notice certain things. The reflexes are not there. The timing is not there. The movement is not there. The hand speed is not there. The foot speed, something is different. Okay, the head movement, something is different. He's not as effective with going forward as he used to be. He's going backwards, but the timing ain't there. He's getting pushed back instead of him going back on his own. Like, you just start to see different things. Okay. Now, let me just explain something about Deontay Wilder's situation. There's no need for you guys that keep talking about, oh, but he didn't have a long amateur career. We know that. We know he did. He had like 35 amateur fights or some shit like that. Okay, we get that. We know that. That is old news. Y'all keep bringing it up as an excuse as to why he isn't more developed than what he is. Okay? When the whole point is what people are saying is he needs to be more polished. Now, from what I see, okay, if you look at any training video of Wilder under Mark Breler's guidance and look at the majority of the times, you didn't see him really training with Mark Breler. You understand what I'm saying? But this is when he's in there jumping up doing this stupid Street Fighter punch and all this other shit. And we're watching and it was like, his shit looked like crap to me. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? Okay. Now, I would say he looks more focused on his training. And I believe because the cameras are on and he knows, especially, okay, the cameras on, I want them to see I'm better than what they think I am. You still cannot fucking go by a guy hitting mitts. I don't care who you are. You cannot go by, oh, he looked good on the mitts. I'm going to tell you something that I see him doing wrong. Okay? And I said this shit when I first started seeing his training videos. Malik Scott, okay, said, and I do agree with him. I believe him when he said this. He said, I'm not trying to change Wilder. I'm trying to fine-tune basically what Wilder already has. If you watch the videos, when Wilder tries to get on his toes and bounce, Wilder has heavy fucking feet. He doesn't have footwork. You think hopping backwards and side to side, just hopping to the side. That's not footwork. That's just you trying to get out of the way. Footwork, I can show you footwork. There's other fighters. Ali can show you footwork. Ray Leonard can show you footwork. Anthony Joshua now can show you footwork, okay? We're not talking about because you can hop backwards. You got two fucking legs. Nobody said your legs were broken. When I'm watching him, okay? I'm breaking this down so y'all can watch and you go, damn, he does do that shit. Deontay Wilder, as far as we have not seen enough of him doing anything, okay? We haven't seen any sparring. All we've seen is him hit mitts, skip rope. If you watch him skip rope, he skip ropes with heavy feet. He jumps rope like a beginner. When you seen the video where he was shooting the jab and he was trying to get on his toe, he has heavy fucking feet. You didn't see footwork, get in, get out, move, slide this way, go, pivot. You didn't see any of that shit. You just seen him hopping around. If you guys consider that footwork, okay, enough said. When he's throwing his punches, Deontay Wilder throws a jab, throws the right hand, right? Well, I'm a southpaw, right? So for me, it's the left hand, but he throws a jab. Look at what my right hand is. When he comes back, this is where his fucking lead hand is. He doesn't shoot that shit and bring it back to his face to catch. Okay? And brings it back here. And also what I see him doing, when he's throwing his punches, he doesn't put his hip into his shots. I noticed if you watch him, when he throws that right hand, a lot of times what he does, he throws his jab out as a measure, and he literally hops in. Literally lifts his foot and hops in and throws the right hand over. And with his height and reach, it's been effective against the opponents that he's fought. Okay? What he is doing also is when he's throwing the right hand, he's still not turning the right hand over. For people who don't think it matters, because they look at that, but even though he does that, he still got a lot of knockouts, right? Against lower level opponents. He caught Fury in the first fight and dropped him. The first punch was on top of the head. His Fury was ducking low. and he caught him on the back of the head, okay, which is an illegal shot. Fury went down. They called it a knockdown. Okay, so be it. The last time, in the second fight, when he, not the second fight, in the last round, when he caught him, boom, and he followed with the left hook. Fury went down, got up. He didn't stumble or stagger. But if you watch Wilder's face, you could see he had that what the fuck look like. Damn. Because he thought Fury was out. He's already doing this and dancing and shaking around, and all of a sudden this motherfucker's on his feet. Okay? And he got pushed back for the rest of that round. If you look at the training videos, what's the one thing, too, that you haven't seen him doing? You haven't seen him boxing and moving and throwing his shots off the back foot. Don't mistake him moving backwards, okay? Hopping backwards and throwing a counter shot. That's not what we're talking about, okay? When we're talking about fighting on the back foot, we're talking about you're purposely moving backwards. Your momentum, you personally moving backwards, you're going back on your own. And you're able to throw shots and catch shots and make motherfuckers run into your shit. That's what we're talking about. Not talking about you hopping back to throw a shot to counter. No, that's not what we're talking about. That's not fighting on the back foot, okay? That's just you countering a shot while you're hopping backwards. That's what you're doing. That's not fighting on the back foot. You haven't seen him doing that, okay? This is what you guys are not understanding about him fighting Fury. Wilder still can't fight going backwards. Now you got people, oh, how you know he ain't working with it and he's just not showing it so he can fool Fury? Listen, that would be, okay, Mike Tyson all his career went forward. The only time you see Mike Tyson going backwards was when somebody was pushing him back, or he gets hit and he's retreating because he's getting hit and he's trying to get out of the way of a shot. As far as him tactically fighting on the back foot, no. You guys think that Wilder is just going to all of a sudden learn how to fight on the back foot. Anthony Joshua, okay, adjusted better because he is a boxer that doesn't rely on just power alone. Deontay Wilder, let's not forget, this is the same man that said they got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I just got to be perfect for 1 second. Remember him saying that. Remember him saying, I don't need all that shit they talk about with boxing. Like, I believe these motherfuckers, I'm knocking everybody out. They can't stop what I'm doing, so until they can stop what I'm doing, why change anything? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Remember him saying all of that. So there was times where he actually came out of his face and said, like, he knows he's not showing a lot of boxing skills. But hey, what I'm doing is working. All right. When Deontay Wilder, also, you notice when he throws his body shots, they have no power. When he shoots shots to the body, it's like slaps, right? And he throws it, and then Malik Scott got him like trying to rip up. When he throws up, he overcommits to that shot, and he's wide open. Even in shadow boxing, the point of you shadow boxing, you're imagining your opponent in front of you. You're not just throwing punches. It's imagining boom, boom. So that's why you see guys, like when you see us catching and moving as if something's coming back. He's throwing shots. He's overcommitting to his shots. All you got to do is pay attention to what he's doing. Listen to what I'm saying and pay attention when you watch him, and you'll see everything I'm saying that he's doing. If he's doing that against Fury, he was doing these things in the second and first fight. And if he's doing these things, these are the bad habits that will come back and haunt him that Fury's going to take advantage of. You guys think because he starts lifting weights, this is the same guy that said Anthony Joshua got him damn muscles, man. There's too many muscles. He's trying to bulk him up top. Deontay Wilder should be trying to bulk his legs up. He's flat-footed. He has heavy feet. It's not going to hurt him to put some size on his legs and his calves, because that's where he's going to have the problem. Because Fury, yeah, we know Fury like to lean his weight on you. But them little skinny chicken legs just have more upper body weight to hold on to now to try to, carry. Now, Fury's putting his 270 pounds. He's talking about trying to come in at 300 or whatever, but he's putting all his weight on him on top of that. And understand something. Fury naturally has, good speed with his punches, and he keeps it long. So when he's walking Wilder down and putting that weight behind it, what Wilder's going to find out is, see what the way Wilder is countering, he's stationary, and then after he throws his shot, and you see Malik Scott sliding back, and then Wilder's coming in, Malik Scott is doing this. He's backing up. What people are understanding is Fury is not backing up for him. He's going to have to back Fury up. It's going to be different. You guys are mistaken. You the same people that say If somebody gets the best of somebody in sparring, oh, but that's sparring. You can't go by sparring. Now, if the motherfucker who you like got the best of somebody, oh, I even heard he beat him in sparring. Okay, well, sparring only matters when you want it to. Yet, hitting mitts, you can't tell that somebody's a better fighter through sparring, but hitting mitts can tell you that a person is better. He looks more focused on trying to show he can throw punches better. He's still making grave mistakes. Those mistakes he's making are going to cost him against a guy like Fury, against a guy like AJ. If Dillian White fights him disciplined enough to not stand there and just get hit with dumb shit, it can cost him against a guy like Dillian as well. The problem that I'm seeing with Wilder, in all honesty, is even though you see him throwing combinations, throwing a shot, he's moving his head. People calling that feint. That's not a feint when he's doing that. When he's throwing a shot, he's moving his head. So when he's throwing, if a counter comes, his head is not in the same place. That's what he's doing. Okay? The feints that he's doing, understand, he's doing this in fucking drills. And Malik Scott is saying, I want it to be where he's doing it instinctively, not in drills. The problem with that is Malik Scott is cooperating with him as training him doing these drills. Your fucking opponent is not going to stand there and cooperate with you. You understand what I'm saying? Not to mention, when you're doing drills, you know what's coming at you. Do you see any punches coming back? Have you seen any fucking sparring? No. You guys are expecting a brand new Deontay Wilder. And I'm not saying he's not going to try something different, but you know what happens? And I agree with what Fury said in theory. More than likely, when fighters fight a certain way for a long time, it is very difficult for these guys to adjust to doing something new when the pressure's on. Now, you can put him in there with a meatball. For example, look at the guy that Chris Eubank Jr. just fought the other couple of months ago, right? He looked better in that fight than he has in a long time. But is that guy he fought worth of shit? Can you say that that's an opponent that you can really measure how good Chris is? He was able to do these things that Roy taught him in that fight, and he looked better in that fight. Now, here's the thing. Can you do that same shit against a Canelo? Against a Jamal Charlo? Against a Demetrius Andre? Can you do those same things against guys like that? Can you do those same things against, Benavidez? That's the thing you got to look at. Okay? In his preparation for Tyson Fury, Wilder still refused to build his legs up. And what he is going to learn the hard way, okay, unless he can just catch Fury and knock him the fuck out, what he's going to learn the hard way, that's too much weight and too much speed coming forward with him having to try to back Fury up. And the thing with that is, for him to try to back Fury up, right? That means he has to commit to throwing shots, and try to throw them accurately, trying to hit the target, basically. Because what's going to happen if Wilder doesn't, if he comes in there thinking he's just going to throw bombs and get Fury out of there, he's going to gas out. I'm telling you guys, he's going to, if he does that, he's going to gas the fuck out. He's going to get overzealous for the knockout, and he's going to start doing the same shit, that wild windmill shit. He's going to fight off anger and emotion. He's going to get burnt out and gas out. He has to be disciplined. See, for all that anger shit he's talking about and revenge and blood, he has to be tactical about it. You've never seen Deontay Wilder fight a disciplined, tactical boxing match ever in your fucking life. So why do we think all of a sudden, like, oh, he's just going to, in one night, get it? What I'm saying overall, the test is going to come in the fight. The preparation, all this shit that he's doing. First off, man, Malik Scott couldn't even fucking beat Deontay Wilder when they fought because he took a dive, all right, as far as I'm concerned. He was scared or whatever. Let's say Deontay Wilder had nothing to do with it, and Malik Scott just decided, fuck that, I'm scared, I don't want to get hit, let me just go down. However it went, I've heard people say he winked his eye at Wilder before he went down. I've heard that, and I've heard it, and I didn't go back to see if it was true. But anyway, the point is this: as far as Wilder being able to beat Fury, let's understand what I'm saying. To beat Fury, even like the Chris Colbert video, when you heard Nestor saying, I think it's going to be like 113, 115, what you call it, said to Danny Garcia, and then he's agreeing. If he's going to beat Tyson Fury, who the fuck you think is going to have the 115? If he goes the distance, who you think going to have the 115? You think he's going to outbox Tyson Fury? This is what people are not understanding. He's going to have to try to knock Tyson Fury out. But like I said, if he can't get the knockout, if he and Fury's able to push him back and put that weight on him, I'm telling you guys right now, Wilder is going to gas out, and Fury's going to wind up stopping him again. He needs to honestly and think. We're what, 3 weeks away? 2-3 weeks away? So he's going to have to honestly learn. And it's not just learn. Your legs are not going to be able to sustain the movement long enough if they're not used to it. You don't just, and understand, that's what I'm about to say as well. Understand, Anthony Joshua works heavy on his calves and his legs, all right? Wilder doesn't. And you cannot go in the ring and all of a sudden, just in one night, it just clicks and everything is, no, you have to have that. Wilder still has heavy, slow fucking feet. People don't get it. What Wilder, only thing when he moves quick is that little quick step back he does, and he keeps his arms out to keep the distance. Understand though, Fury's already been in there with him. Fury already knows what he you know, the way Wilder fights. And the thing with Wilder is, he still has not shown that he can fight going backwards. And you have not in no training video seen him going backwards at all. Just seen him hopping around and then throwing punches at the mitts. That's all we've seen. So I'm not even making like a prediction like who I think how. That's not even the point. I think Fury wins the fight. I'll say I think Fury wins the fight. But if Wilder is to win, it's going to have to be by knockout. He's not going to outbox Tyson Fury, man. It's just not happening. If he does it and pulls it off, hey, kudos to him. And it's like, hey, you know, if he wins, I'll be the first to say he did what he had to do. He won. But for me, unless Fury comes in that motherfucker and shit just if Fury's on point, if they're both on point, Fury wins that fight. I just don't see him outboxing Fury. And I think Fury's smart enough to know not to let Wilder get these shots off, not to put himself in harm's way, to just be there and take unnecessary shit. When you're coming through on a guy and you're putting that weight on him, okay? The problem Wilder's going to have, which you got to understand, Wilder can't fight going back. So that shit he's doing with Malik Scott hopping up and throwing punches at, like I said, Malik Scott's cooperating with him. Fury's not going to cooperate. And for him to come, he don't have to come in 300. He can come in and saying 270 something pounds. Him coming in and pushing that weight back. Now Wilder's going to have to, okay, so those feints and slipping and, okay, is Wilder going to be able to do that in the fight? Catch and shoot and count? This is not Wilder's style. And I'm telling you guys, I'm in the gym all the time, all right? Aries can fight his ass off too, okay? And I see what fighters do. They have confidence in training. When an actual fight happens, it doesn't look like, you know, the way you want it to look. The way you think it's going to look. It is like, nah, it's different. It's not the same. Drills are not the actual fight. And what Wilder's going to have to do, and sparring, okay, if he's training to fight on the back foot and be able to throw his shots and move, understand, it's not like Tyson Fury's going to come in, jab, 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 finesse. No, he's going to be putting that weight on him. Fury is coming to knock Wilder out. And the way for him, the best way for him to knock Wilder out is to get Wilder exhausted. Make Wilder fight more than what he wants to, because Fury's going to be coming forward putting weight on him. Which means Wilder's trying to back up and throw punches. Wilder's trying to push back and resist. He's a lot lighter. He has scrawny, small legs and thighs, and y'all just don't get it. For him to be 6'7", if he was like 6'1", 6'2", 231, yeah, that would be different. He's 6'7", man. And he just don't have the body mass to fight the way people are explaining, the way Malik Scott's explaining, and the way all this, like him bench pressing at 310 pounds, he said, his legs kicking all up in the air and all that shit just for one fucking rep. He need to be putting that weight on his legs. Fine, let your upper body stay the way it is, but you need to strengthen them legs, man. He needs that. He doesn't have to he doesn't have to stay away from squats, especially because he's not a mover. So it's not going to hurt him. But what I'm seeing with Wilder right now, being 2-3 weeks away, he still has a lot of bad habits. Now, people, I don't give a shit about people, oh man, you hating, fuck you. Care nothing about that. Common sense. I'm talking to the grown adults. If you watch what Wilder's doing right now, and you're impressed, More than likely, it's because you don't really know how to box yourselves, and really, or you're just being biased. If you watch and you say, okay, his pad work looks better than it did in the past. Okay, he's throwing more combinations in the past. He's trying to, get him used to having to throw shots more than he used to, try to get his conditioning up. Because he's going to have that conditioning. But this is what I'm saying. It's different when this guy's putting that weight on him and he has to try to sustain this for 12 rounds. Fury's going to wear him down and mentally wear him down. That's going to be Fury's game plan. So what I'm saying is that Wilder don't land that shot. People like, yeah, but Wilder his power carries from the first to the last round. Yeah, understand something though. It's going to be a different fight for him because Fury knows how to use his size. That's the difference. Dominic Brazil is big. He doesn't know how to use his size at all. He just throws punches. He throws punches and takes punches. He doesn't rough you up and move you around, put his weight on. He doesn't do all of that. He doesn't know how to do that. So you can be the same exact size, or you can be heavier than another guy. Jarrell Miller, he comes forward, throw punches. He leans on you a little, but he doesn't put his weight on you and he doesn't do that. And he's short compared to Fury. So it would be a different fight for him to even fight a 300-pound Jarrell Miller versus a 300-pound Tyson Fury. Two completely different styles. And even though Jarrell Miller's not a big puncher, he's a volume puncher. So it's two different strategies. The problem with Wilder at 35 now, the problem with Wilder right now is, again, listen to Malik Scott's words. He's fine-tuning. I'm just trying to bring out what he already has. He's trying to fine-tune what he already has. All he's ever had was a right hand. So no, what you're actually doing is trying to teach him to do basic shit. This is what he's not saying. I'm trying to get him to do basic shit that he should have been doing. You understand what I'm saying? And Wilder had no interest in becoming a better fighter because his ego made him think, I can just keep knocking everybody out. And that prevented him from developing to be a better fighter than what he is. So when you watch his training videos, watch how he brings his hands back low. Watch how he'll throw the jab, come back, and now he's wide open and his hand is way down here by his chest or by his stomach sometimes. Watch how when he throw the right hand, how he's not turning it over, but he's looping that shit and he opens up, wham, hand right here. So if Fury catches his shot and come right through the middle, he's caught. You understand what I'm saying? Watch how he doesn't put his hips into his shots. He does not. This is what I'm saying. He's doing amateur shit. I watch any fighter as I would in the gym. And if he's in the gym, trainers are going, Wilder, put your hip in the shot, man. Turn the punch over. And then when he's putting his combinations together, understand on mitts, and then all this little, in case this comes back, see, what you learn in sparring and training, okay, that's preparation, the conditioning, the timing, the movement, the reflexes, all that, hand-eye coordination, all that shit is there. But what you learn in sparring, all right, in training, that's different from the fight itself is you are accustomed to training certain ways. So you're going through the drills, but the majority of the conditioning is to keep you moving, keep you moving. But in the fight, your opponent is going to give you different looks, okay? The mental fatigue kicks in when nothing you're doing is really working the way you want it to, okay? And Wilder, the way he's feeling towards Fury, he keeps talking about he want to decapitate him, he want a body on his record, all that kind of shit. He's back to that shit again. So he can very easily go over there, like I said, and get himself exhausted and wind up punching himself out because he's trying so hard to knock this man out. And it's a disadvantage for him because Fury already knows I can walk Wilder down. Wilder had every opportunity to try in that second fight, and he couldn't come up with anything. So now, a year later, he finally gets back up to start training for Fury, and for him to be able to walk him down and learn how to tie up and do all that shit, he can't muscle Fury around, first of all. He's too big. He's just too damn big. He's too big. And all that weight and that lack of leg power that Wilder has, the lack of him being able to, get it in and out, and make Fury have to keep coming and catch him with shots and make Fury run into something, because Wilder's going to try to knock Fury out. Fury's going to try to knock Wilder out. He doesn't have to be a harder puncher than Wilder. All he has to do is be able to punch hard enough to hurt him. And we see that if Fury sit down on his punches and get his weight behind his shots bother Wilder enough to where Wilder wasn't throwing back. Okay, and even when Wilder tries to throw back, it's instinctive. He throws wild shots. And I'm saying all this, so you guys, when you're watching him train, you'll see it. But two, the whole point of thinking that he's just going to go in there and dominate this fight because a guy that took a dive for him is showing him basic shit and getting him to start throwing punches at mitts, and because he looks a little smoother than he did in the past throwing his punches, you guys think that's enough for him to win the fight. You guys will see, because like I said, I'm not going to watch this fight live. I may catch the replay or something just so I can give you a video breakdown, but I'm just not interested in this fight, and I've been saying this ever since the second fight. I'm just not interested in this fight, and the way how Undisputed was dodged just so this fight could happen, it was just one of these things where it's like, you know, I feel like sometimes I wonder if Fury was you know, it was a time where I wondered if Fury was actually in on this whole thing the whole time. You know, or they just playing this WWE shit like they hate each other, and I mean, who knows? They both could be in cahoots, or maybe it is a one-sided thing. Who knows? I don't know, and I really don't care. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all that. So when you watch, just check and see what I'm saying about these amateur mistakes that he's still making, that Malik Scott is not correcting. So for everybody that's thinking, oh, he's in better hands with Malik Scott than he was with Breland. No, maybe he's paying more attention to Malik Scott than he was to Breland, but you watch the videos yourself and you see if you don't see these same mistakes he's making. He doesn't turn at the waist when he throws his shots. He throws the arm shots. And the only punch he throws with any real ferocity is the right hand. But he does not get his hips behind his shots. He just doesn't. He does not do it. And he leaves himself wide open to be countered. And he overcommits when he comes in and tries to throw the power shot. You guys will see it for yourselves. Anyway, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.